Try a little faster. So that was a basic sort of walking bass line with chords example, and I was playing that in A, and there's really only a couple of things that you need to know about this. There's two chord shapes. That's all it does through the whole thing, basically. They're both dominant 7 chords, and the first one is like this. I'm starting here. I'm playing the whole thing in A. So the first shape is like this: 12, 11, 12. And it's a dominant 7th chord, but the 5th is not there, so it's even easier. It's only 3 out of the 4 notes. So 12, 11, 12. See, there's your 1, there's your 3, and there's your flat 7. The second shape is like this. It starts on the bottom string, and what we're doing with this one is going like I'm right here. I'll just play it here on 9 because this is the first place I actually play that chord. So it would be like this: 9, and then you skip the next string, and then 9, and then 10. Now this is also a dominant 7th chord with the 5th absent, but the notes are just in a slightly different order. We have our root note there, our 1, and then we have our flat 7 there, and then the 3 is on top. So those are the only 2 chords that this entire thing does, and it moves in a sequence like this. It starts on the A, it plays the lowest note by itself, that's the bass note, then the other 2, and then back to the bass note again. And then it goes down, and it does the same thing starting here on A flat. So we have, and then we go down into our other chord shape, and then we do the same sort of a thing. Bass note first, then the other 2 notes, back to the bass note, and then do the same thing a fret lower on C. And that's really the pattern. Now we repeat that pattern, but we're going back up to here, and we're starting here. We're staying on the 8th fret and going back up here to the F. So I went down 1 there, then I went down to the next shape, down to 5, got to 4, then repeating, going back up there, staying on 4, and we do, then going down and doing this one here on F. It's a little bit tricky to get this change here because you're going 0 and then 0, 1 for an E7 chord, and then we go to the A, and ending it here just with a major. Now that's an A, and that we started with an A7, so you could actually repeat there. Like that, but just for the purpose of just keeping it short, I just end it there on the A. I see you see that when it went down to the E there, I messed that part up. It's kind of, I don't know, I have a hard time remembering to play that chord, even though it, I don't know, it's debatably the easiest because you're only actually holding down 1 string, but it's also a big change because you're only holding down with 1 finger when the rest of the chords, when you're doing that shape, you had 3 fingers. So I mean, it makes sense that that part would trip me up, and you know, maybe it might trip somebody else up, but it's something to keep in mind. And I just did a little more production value with this one. I added a whole second part, kind of like an animated, kind of like chord diagrams, because if you're going to take the time to watch these videos, you shouldn't be watching something that's just complete garbage. So I'm going to splice it up together and see how it comes along. So one more time, we have this. There's a slight shuffle rhythm to it. Maybe not slight. I mean, it's not a super heavy shuffle, but it's in there. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Stuff like this is great to play, and I recommend checking it out.